Yo, what's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Yazzie TCG, and we're back. We're sort of back for another Marvel Snap cash review. Now, in my last video, yeah, they banned Marvel Snap apparently, but they're working on getting it back. We saw this on their Twitter page. Hopefully, I mean, if it's restored in the next 12 hours, that should be enough time for people to get back in and be able to spit on the cash. Like, hopefully, if anybody wants to spit on this cash, nobody loses the opportunity to. We've gone 2 days without Snap. You know, I feel like I had to go touch grass yesterday. It was weird. It was but no, just let me snap on people. Let me snap on people. This is some bullshit. Bro, Donald Trump, if you're that ass at Marvel Snap, cry about it. Go get some mess with everybody. Anyway, enough of that. This week's cash is Bullseye, a 3/3 activate, discard all cards that cost 1 or less from your hand, and inflict that many different enemy cards with power -2. Now, this is sort of like another one of those like weird hybrid type of cards. Like, it's discard plus affliction. We've seen a couple of these like kind of mixed archetype cards. We have Phoenix Force. We have Meek, who's discard and move. We have we've seen this kind of stuff before. Also, I think it's funny they have on reveal when this card doesn't activate. That does make it pretty good. Again, the only way to get rid of activate cards is Red Guardian, or that one location where card text is disabled. Downside is it is an activate card, so it doesn't just if you draw it last turn, it doesn't do anything. But anyway, I have constructed a deck here on their deck builder because the game is down and I can't. We can't exactly get into the game now, shall we? Now, the main targets that you're probably gonna discard with it is going to be Swarms and Scorns. Every time you discard every time you discard Swarm, you get 2 more at 0 cost. So the whole point is that you basically try to draw him plus a discard outlet as soon as possible. Either him or Scorn. I mean, Scorn, I think you need to play it in discard decks, like no matter what variant you're playing. I think she's just simply too good. Simply too good. I mean, and we have our regular discard stuff. A funny thing actually, Dakin works really well with Bullseye because the Muramasa Shard is a 1 cost as well. So there's that. And this is sort of kind of just discard. Like discard with Bullseye being your final turn push. That's kind of how I built the deck. We have Nico to draw or / clone cards. That shit works. Frigga is also here to clone cards. You hit Dakin, get a Muramasa Shard, turn 4, play Frigga, get another, you get another Dakin, that's technically another Muramasa Shard, that's 2 for Bullseye, and then they become, place them at different locations, that's 2 8 power at different locations. You have Proxima to Midnight to go wide. It's also really glad that I get to show it here because I don't actually own this card. Like MODOK on turn 5 when your hand is filled with Swarms and Muramasa Shards possibly. Just get a bunch of them, then on turn 6, just Bullseye, just go pew, 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 pew. I mean, you could even, if you even really wanted to, if you don't have cards like Proxima to Midnight and Frigga, because I know that this, this deck is, the later end of this deck is a little top heavy. You could play shit like Wong Gambit. You just machine gun them, just ba 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 ba. You have Morbius and the Collector here to be basically your scalers. And I mean, Nico's more utility. Scorn is a scale, 2 scalers, because she gives power to the board, and then she becomes herself pretty strong. If you start discarding her from the beginning of the game, she can get some stupid crazy numbers. Other than that, if you're not wanting to play discard, I would say he's not worth it. If you're not willing, if you don't want to play discard, or you're missing a good amount of discard cards, if you're missing Scorn, I almost wouldn't even just recommend doing it. I think if you miss the Scorn cash, this card is just kind of unavailable to you until you get Scorn, because Proximity to Midnight is good, but if you had to pick one, having one or the other, I'd rather have Scorn. But I mean, that's just my opinion. And the other cards in the cache are Kyera and Marvel Boy. Marvel Boy giving 3 of your 1-cost cards 1+ power, and Kyera having the ongoing ability to protect 1 and 6-cost cards from being destroyed. Now, these are both really good cards, but as I've been saying, if you're not interested in either playing Discard with Bullseye or Zoo/Sakaar Inserter, I don't know what people call the Scar Inserter deck, I don't really think this cache is worth it for you. Me personally, I will be trying to spin to get Kyera. Like, I will probably stop if I get Kyera. I wouldn't mind having Bullseye. Like, I will gladly play this. Like, this looks fun. But, yeah, I think if you're not interested in playing any of those decks, you can possibly skip this cache. Save your keys for something you would want to play. I also want to point out, I think it's funny, Bullseye used to be 4/5. Bullseye used to be 4/5, which, I mean, in theory, technically, maybe would have made the card better. It's a little weird with... was he activated or was he on review? Yeah, he was always activate. It's a little weird with these activate cards because, in theory, the sooner you get to play them, the better, because that's when they get to activate. But, like, him being 4/5, that's, like, such a good power increase for just, like, 1 extra energy. Other than that, let me know if you guys are gonna spin on this cache. I know this was a little, you know, a little shorter than my other cache reviews, but I simply think, even like even if you don't know what you're doing, and even if you just spin on this cache, all 3 of these cards are good. Like, you know, all 3 of these cards are good, and Discard is one of those archetypes where you will at least have like Swarm. You at least have Swarm. He's like he's a Series 2 card. For players that were coming back, I mean, MODOK was a Battle Pass card. He's now a Series 4 card. Same with... Actually, you can get Dakin in the Battle Pass right now. So you can get Dakin in the Battle Pass right now. Collector and Colleen Wing, these are, you know, relatively easy cards. Same with, like, Blade. I mean, Blade and fucking... I want to say there's only, what? There's, in theory, 5... Series 5 cards, because Bullseye is a... Bullseye after will probably be dropped into the Series 5 pool. And it's like wild, because you don't even need to run, like... I mean, like I said, Frigga and Proxima Midnight, they're good if you have it. But they could easily be replaced with other cards. I mean, just, you know, off the top of my head, I was also thinking about running Kate Bishop, because her arrows are indeed 1 cost. Like, she's 2/3, she creates 2 arrows. And who knows? I mean, depending on the matchup, you could just use the arrows. And she not only was in the last Spotlight cache, but she also was a fucking Season Pass card. So I want to say that a good amount of people have her. The only Series 5 that is like mandatory besides Bullseye, duh. But the only Series 5 card I think is mandatory in this deck is Scorn. So if you're gonna play Discard and you didn't spin on her cache, better save up those 6,000 tokens. I don't really know what to say. I know this card is technically an Affliction card as well, but it simply just will not be running Affliction. Like, Affliction already has a pretty solid package of cards that it wants to play, and like none of them want to benefit from this. So, you know, if Discard gets if Affliction gets like a card that generates, you know, on Discard to give -2 power, like it makes little tokens in your hand, then Bullseye will go crazy, dude. Bullseye will go crazy. Go crazy, dude. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I really do hope that Marvel Snap comes back. I'm getting withdrawals. You know, I've had to substitute with Balatro. It's addicting, but it's not the same. It's not the same as looking my opponent and hitting him with a power must be controlled. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, it's been your boy Yazzie TCG, and we're signing out.